It's TMNT time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Metalhead figure. Finally, with the brown box. I say finally. I don't even know in what order I'm gonna upload these reviews, but it's the last one I'm having a look at, you know, just breaking kayfabe. The real box with the slider. You got a Metalhead logo, says the name, says Ultimates on top, says Super 7. Slide this part up and boom! Window box. Got to grab these. Got kind of like the bricks around him. He's bursting out of it, and sorry, my voice is leaving me. TMNT logo, a little bit of bio in the back if you fancy that stuff. Super excited about this one. I got some great size and looks freaking fantastic. But why just look at the window box when I can take him out? Liking and subscribing videos is fun. Try it out. And how was it? Taking it out of the box, I wish he was a little bit chunkier. He does have some decent size, so I mean he's pretty much in line with the Turtles. Stands at about 15 centimeters to the top of his hat, which means we are going up to 5.9 inches tall for your size comparisons. Here's Jalter, NECA Raph, Super 7 Michelangelo, same size, Super 7 April, Super 7 Rocksteady, the big guy, Metal Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Darkseid. I want to mix this one up a little bit by having a look at the old school toy. First time around. Now, what I can get from the mold, it's pretty much spot on with the old stuff, the vintage one. The detail on there, and you know, this line, this wire, this red wire isn't stretched as this one. You know, if you want to be like that, sure. But now I think like it really lines up very, very well. Also has a good size. Like this one, the old school Metalhead had about the same size as the Turtles. The new one also works with that. And then you have all the detail and a little bit of extra paint in the newer one, which really elevates all the detail in these figures that much more. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about this line is like sometimes in some characters you don't even see how much they really put into the mold, and then you paint it and it's like, oh, I never even noticed that one. Like all the little cables and whatnot sticking out. Now, what they did not accomplish, also like there's the holes in the chest and in the back for the backpack on this one, but what they did not accomplish all the way is the paint. And you know, I feel like it's something I talk about a lot, but it's been good for most Super 7 figures, but this wave, this is like the paint wave. So first and foremost, also light piping in the head. You have the brain over there. And you don't really have light piping in the new one, so I don't really know. But then again, the light piping in this one wasn't really great to begin with. So you know what? Update on the light piping. It actually does work, but I have to hold it directly over his head. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So I just like, it's there, but it's not great. I'm not impressed. What's also not great is kind of like the paint around his eyes. Like there's some dark paint on his eyes. Looks like he didn't get enough sleep. And you got the gold in the teeth, which does stand out very nicely. And then you got the green on both sides over here, which doesn't cover up the gray well enough. And that's a theme. We got the gold chest, got tons of metallic detail. And yeah, you can see again over here how the gold does not really cover up the gray, as proven in this part, which just kind of looks weird. And it does stand out in some other places, like really around the angles, around the edges. Also, in the shell, you got some gray just sticking out, and that's just weird and sad, honestly. Then you got the belt with the T on it, the grenades are painted, and his little oil cans also have like a nice gunmetal to it. There's some more detail in the back, and the arms look great. You got all these tiny bolts which are painted in a metallic. There's some mechanical detail which they didn't paint. I mean, you don't have to paint everything. I know they added some of it, but I feel like, what would you paint this one? So, you know, doesn't have any dry brushing, doesn't have any weathering, which, I don't know, I guess they are really favorite to like Bebop and Rocksteady, which do have a lot of this. And it would have, I imagine some nice dry brushing on the gray parts to make it look like real metal. Damn, that would have gone a long way, but they didn't do it. Moving down to the legs, you have all these bolts sticking out. Another thing I feel like they kind of missed the boat on is adding a thigh swivel. Because look at how this is molded. It would have been so easy to make a final swivel here, but they didn't do that. We'll get to the articulation in a second, but it just kind of bothers me. You do have like the movement in the knee, but still. Got the cables sticking out over here, which are soft plastic, does not get into the way of the articulation. The lightning bolts in the silver-ish paint job. I say silverish because gold and silver, it's not like metallic. It's not like super shiny. It doesn't have like sparkles in it, but it does stand out. It does look like gold and you know, metal, and it's all right. I'm not hating on it, but yeah. Then you have the feet. Got some more kind of bolts on there, which again unpainted, and then some yellow on it, and that's your look. Yeah, we got the look out of the way. How does this guy move? First of all, he has a really long neck, which going back to this one again, he doesn't even have a neck. What's up with neck day? So, hat moves forward, moves to the back, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around, and does pop. This one also pops up quite a bit. I don't know if it's my copy, but yeah, it's an issue for me. So you can rotate it on there, so you can see the movement, you can see that it's a ball on a long pack. Then you have the shoulder, which is on a hinge and doesn't really have much room as such. That's all you're getting out of it. It does go all the way around. Obviously, got a bicep swivel. Simple hinge in the knee, goes up and down. Knee, elbow, up and down, and also around. As you can tell, the elbow pad, it is soft plastic, so it does move out of the way. You got another hinge in the hand that moves back and forth, and also rotates. Chest area, not really anything. You only have the hips down there, which do have a little bit of wiggle room, and you have the soft plastic shell, so that does bend for it. Does a little bit back and forth, has some side to side, and some rotation. The legs, why not kind of stiff? So you do have the hinge in there, bring it out to the side all the way, and kind of bring it up. Let me get it into position. Bring it up all the way. Doesn't really go to the back because of the shell. You can also rotate it on the ball hinge. Then you have, well, you do have the fine swivel of that, just like this just would have been an extra part, which wouldn't have even cost them anything. And you have the knee, which is somewhat limited and also rotates somewhat. I do love how they molded it though. It looks very seamless. And the foot moves back. Doesn't really, well, it does move forward actually, after giving it a good tuck. It is very stable also, so it will stay in place. I can't really say the same about some of the legs. Some of the joints are not so great. I really would have liked to have the legs a little bit more sturdy. But anyway, you have a beautiful swivel on the foot. Well, not really swivel, but an ankle rocker. So for some good posing, keep them stable, and that's about it. For your accessories, I gotta go straight up into this one because I am confused. You have like the rotor thingy, nunchuck on top of it, whatever it's supposed to be. So it looks really nice. There's some small bolts on there which have like a brighter green, a little bit more shiny. The one thing I'm kind of disappointed about is like why they didn't paint the drill in there. I would have really liked to have that one in, I don't know, a little bit of gold or gray, and you could say that same part about the rotor at the top. I mean, it does move, so that's cool. You can rotate it around, and it does have the pack to go into the jetpack, and, well, backpack or jetpack, whatever you want to call it. And you have another one, which is the same thing, just has a way smaller pack. And I'm 100% honest with you, I do not know what this one's for. So, you know, anyone can let me know. We don't have instructions with these guys, so it's, you know, anybody's guess. Then you got the backpack. Classic stuff. You have this weird thing in the targeting mechanic. Has 2 slots for pizza, although it's not really that deep, so it has kind of weird, kind of squished up pizzas. Also, the paint job on there is minimal, but it is clean, so I'm not minding it too much. And finally, you have this, well, finally for the jetpack, for the backpack accessories. Why do I keep calling it a jetpack? Is there anything on that fly? No. Okay. Sorry, I got angry at myself for that. Straight up green plastic, doesn't have any paint on it, unfortunately. Then you have another head without the light piping, so the eyes and the brain is actually painted on here, and it just looks a lot cleaner, so I'm probably gonna use this one, because the light piping isn't that great anyway. Then you got 2 holding hands. I can't grab the other one, but it's just like a regular holding hand, and 2 fist hands, and then you have this kind of whip finger to do naughty stuff with your fingers. Or not, just kind of, I whip for pizza, right? That's what it's for. Also, you have 2 grenades. I left those in the packaging because they're small and will just fall down. They are nicely painted, actually way better painted than the one on his belt. On the belt you kind of just have the ring that's a little bit gray and the rest of it isn't really painted, but these ones, they look pretty good. I think Rocksteady came with the exact same ones, and then finally there's the weapons rack for the, you know, the old school vibes, which came with all the old Playmates figures. And you can display it or actually take it off if you want to, but why would you? Because you have the exact same accessories right here. Final thoughts! Oof, do I have a couple of things I want to talk about. First and foremost, yes, this is toy accurate looking Metalhead, no problems with that. Articulation could be better at the price point. Paint job, ooh, the more I look at the paint job in the chest, the more I'm thinking like, yikes. It's kind of a lot rougher than I thought. Like, you look at all these like unclean things going on over there on the side, and just like, not even the fact that it doesn't cover up all of the gray, but yeah, you have stuff like that, which isn't fun. And then back to the joint tolerance, which I keep mentioning a lot. Yeah, because of the backpack, this guy's obviously very, very back heavy. And you might be thinking he's in a somewhat weird pose, but that's the choice I made because I feel like he can keep up like that. Because the more I move him around, the more I notice, like, especially over here, it's fairly loose. So as such, it's just kind of like if you move him forward, he just kind of like flips around, and it's kind of hard to have him stand up straight because it just kind of gives away and goes to the back. So that's a thing. Other than that, at least the feet and the knees are strong enough to keep up with it. Finally, final thoughts of this one. Oof. I am not 100% sure. It looks great, don't get me wrong. I already said that, I know, and it does what it sets out to do. But man, the issues with this one, it's just kind of bothering me. But you know, if you want a Playmates Metalhead, this one's not the worst. But if you just want a Metalhead, I would probably say, and I know I don't say this a lot, the NECA one is probably a way better pick. And obviously this one looks different than the NECA one because the NECA one is based on a cartoon show. So that's really depends on your preferences. If you just want a Metalhead, I would say the NECA one's better. And I don't say that a lot, but yeah. That's gonna do it, boys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Metalhead wants.